Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. And we have an interesting week on our hands. Some kind of strange discounts and some interesting money bonuses. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. But before we do, if you could drop a like and subscribe if you guys are new, that would help me out a lot. With that being said, starting off with the weekly challenge this week, it is going to be to win 2 adversary modes to receive a Manor tie-dye t-shirt and $100,000, which is not too bad. Now we also have double money for first time completion this week of the Fleesa heist finale and the Pacific Standard heist. Now, if you guys are unaware of this, both of these heists have been increased in their payouts upon the first time that you complete them, especially if they're on hard mode. You're going to get a ton of money, way more than you used to get the first time you complete them in a week. But these are on double money on top of that new first time completion bonus. Just so you guys are aware, if you are to complete the Fleesa job on hard mode, you're going to get $377,344 the first time you do it every single week. And on double money, that is a pretty good chunk of change, over $750,000. And then we have the Pacific Standard heist, which the first time you complete it on hard mode is going to pay $2,812,500. And obviously that on double is about $5.6 million. So that is a crazy amount of money. So if you have not taken advantage of this yet, guys, with this new update week, you gotta take advantage of it because that is a crazy amount of money. Even for people that aren't the host of the heist, you're still gonna make a ton of money with these money bonuses, at least the first time you do them. And keep in mind, these first time bonuses apply to every player individually. So even if you have completed the Pacific Standard job as a crew member versus the leader of the heist, if you go and start the heist yourself, you will also get the crazy first time bonus as well. So this is pretty good, all things considered. We have triple money and triple RP on the community mission content this week as well. We have double money and double RP on Motor Wars, the Cayo Perico version of it, which is actually a ton of fun, so I would recommend trying this out for sure. Super Yacht Life missions are paying double money and double RP this week, and these missions have also been increased in what they pay in the past couple of updates, so that is pretty cool too. So this is actually going to be a pretty good way to make money. And last but not least, for double money, we have shipwrecks on double money and RP, which is going to be a decent way to earn money. Now, I wish there was a business bonus going on, but it seems like Rockstar is intentionally making the next couple of weeks at least into heist themed weeks. So you can probably expect to see some more heists going on double money for the first time completion bonus over the next couple of update weeks. So that is cool, I guess. Getting started with the discounts, we actually have some 60% off discounts this week, and they're kind of weird. Businesses in Paleto Bay are 60% off this week, guys. Now, I am gonna go ahead and say that you should probably avoid doing this for like literally any business, but it's kind of insane at the same time how cheap some of these businesses are. For example, like you can get an arcade for under $500,000 this week, which is insane. An MC Clubhouse you can get for $100,000. So if it's something that you don't necessarily need to go to all the time, like for example, if you want an arcade literally just to get the safe money, this is kind of an unbeatable deal in my opinion. But that's not to say that you should get, you know, a facility up here, a bunker up here, things like that. I don't think that's worth it. It's not even to say you should get the arcade up here. It's just like, if you're not a casino heist player, you know, if you don't enjoy the casino heist, but you want to make the passive money from owning an arcade, well, if you can get one for under 500K, that is a really, really good deal. Now, again, I'm going to say avoid it generally. I don't really recommend getting any of these because they're just simply not in very good locations. God knows for the MC businesses as well, please do not get them in Paleto Bay. It is going to make your life a lot worse. Yeah, overall, I would just avoid anything with this discount for the most part, but it's an interesting discount nonetheless. It's just not that useful overall, at least in my opinion. So yeah, I would be very careful if you do consider doing this, but for most people I would say to avoid doing that entirely. We also have Galaxy Super Yachts 60% off this week, guys. So a new yacht is going to cost you like not very much money, to be completely honest. Like the Aquarius yacht, the highest yacht in the game, the best yacht in the game, is only going to be about $4 million this week. So this is actually like almost better than some of the Black Friday discounts that we get on yachts usually. So if you do want a yacht, now would be the time, guys. Now would be the time. If you've been wanting one for a long time, any time in GTA, now would be the time if you've never bought one before. 60% off. I really don't see them going on a higher discount. If they do, maybe 70% off, but that is like the absolute cheapest they will go. If they even ever go 70% off again. So 60% off is a great price if you do want one of these. Do I recommend getting a yacht? Honestly, for the super yacht life missions, I think they're great, especially if those are on bonus money. You can actually make a good amount using the yacht, and you can actually kind of pay it off. But the majority of the time, I mean, it's really just something to have in GTA. It's, you know, if you're a late game player, if you have pretty much everything else in the game, you should probably buy a yacht, because why not have one, I guess, you know? But if you're a lower level player, if you don't have all the businesses and stuff like that, I would avoid buying a yacht personally, even with the crazy discount, unless you plan to play those super yacht life missions like a lot and kind of, you know, get your money back out of it by doing those. But yeah, if you're a later game player, I'd recommend getting one if you don't have one yet. If you're a newer player, I would avoid getting yacht this week. I just don't think it's really worth it for you guys. Continuing on for more 60% off discounts, we have the Karen Kuruma Armored and the Karen Kuruma Regular, both 60% off. I mean, this is a no-brainer for me. If you've ever wanted a Karen Kuruma for $38,000, buy one for sure. Even if you don't want a Karen Kuruma, I would buy one for 38 grand. Like, you cannot go wrong with that price for this car. You just simply can't. And the regular Karen Kuruma Armored as well, $210,000 if you have the trade price. Really, really good deal. Yeah, absolutely buy a Karen Kuruma Armored. You gotta have one for this price. One of the most useful cars in the entire game, almost completely bulletproof. It is great for missions, contact missions against NPCs, anything like that. The Karen Kuruma Armored is fantastic. Absolutely buy one of these. Same goes for the regular Karen Kuruma, the unarmored version. It's a great car. It has slightly better handling, slightly higher top speed than the armored version. Overall, I think it's a little bit better looking as well, but that might just be me. In case you guys don't own a high-end apartment yet, to get access to the Pacific Standard Heist and the Fleesa job, you can now get a high-end apartment for 40% off this week. So if you don't have a high-end apartment, now is going to be the time to get it. If you do have a high-end apartment, but you want more garage space, if you can have more properties, I would very highly recommend getting some high-end apartments. There's a lot to choose from, honestly. Just pick whatever one you like. What I will tell you is that the updated interior ones do have some nice features, and you can actually change the interior of it, which is pretty cool. So I would recommend that if you have the money for it. But if you're trying to save money, if you just want a new apartment or anything like that, or you're just trying to get access to the heist, just go for the cheapest one you can possibly get. I should also mention that Benny's conversions are 40% off this week. So if you want to make like the Karen Sultan into the Karen Sultan RS, that's going to be 40% cheaper than it normally is this week, so that can save you some money if you're interested in doing something like that. Starting off for vehicle discounts, regular vehicle discounts at least, that is, we have the Invitero Coquette D1 on Legendary Motorsport, 30% off this week. This is a pretty awesome car, and as far as the sports classic goes, it is great. It has decent customization, not the best ever. It's definitely an improvement on something like the Coquette Blackfin, for example, but still not exactly the most customizable car ever. It is a fun car to drive. It has good handling, decent acceleration. It is rear wheel drive as well. If it's something that interests you, I mean, get it for sure. But if you're looking for performance or you're looking for crazy customization or anything like that, I would avoid the Coquette D1 just simply because there are better cars on discount this week. Up next, we have the Classique Broadway for $647,500. This thing does give you the option to use it as a custom taxi, which is better than the regular, vapid taxis that you can get from the downtown cab company, but by no means is it it a good taxi, especially compared to the Anis Remus, which is currently the best taxi in the entire game. It also has the missile lock-on jammer available for it too, which is cool, but at the end of the day, I just don't really feel like this car is necessarily worth the $650,000 price tag, even on a 30% discount. That seems like kind of a crazy price to me. So what I would say is, if you're into older cars like this, if you think that it would be something that you might be interested in, maybe you should consider buying it. But for most players, I'm going to go ahead and say avoid buying the Classique Broadway this week. And scrolling damn near to the bottom of the page, we have the Truffade Z-Type for $665,000 this week. This is a really cool car. It has a missile lock-on jammer now, which is pretty cool. And it is a decently fast sports classic car, actually, in terms of top speed. I think it tops out, it's either 127 or it's 129. It's pretty up there for a sports classic. But what I will tell you is that it has absolutely nothing in the way of customization, pretty much. Not a lot you can do to it. The color options are just, primary, secondary. You can make some nice two-tone builds with this thing, but the Z-Type is a pretty cool car. If you want something that's very stylish, very kind of luxurious looking, and things like that, this is a good car to pick up. But for $665,000, again, kind of like the Classique Broadway, it's kind of a lot of money for what you're getting, but I would say the value of the Z-Type is slightly higher than the Classique Broadway. In a traditional sense of just like car for car, I think the Z-Type is a lot cooler, but the Classique Broadway does have it beat out on customization, and you can use the Classique Broadway as a taxi. So for right around the same price, you really have to weigh out your options and see what you like more. Personally, I would go for the Z-Type if I had to pick between the two. For players that aren't interested in this thing, you can absolutely skip it. It's nothing that special. It is just kind of a cool car, especially if you're an OG player. Up next, we have my favorite car in the game, the Truffade Adder, for $700,000. Somehow this thing does not have a missile lock-on jammer. That kind of shocks me. The Z-Type has one and the Adder doesn't. As, one of the most iconic GTA Online cars ever, I feel like the Adder should definitely have a missile lock-on jammer, but whatever, it is what it is, I guess. This thing is going for $700,000 this week, and while I love the Adder, I do recognize that it is by far not exactly the best car. For just another $25,000, you can get the Zentorno, which has way better customization, better performance generally except for top speed, and is arguably a better looking car as well. Now personally, I love the Adder, like I said, but it's not exactly the best car. I'm not going to recommend this for many people, honestly. The only way I would really recommend getting an Adder is if you A, love the Adder, or you used to own one but sold it for some reason, or if you're a established player that has like all the businesses and a bunch of money, you may want to consider buying an Adder while it's 30% off. Other than that though, you can completely avoid the Adder and it is no loss to you. Over on Warstock, we have the Prison Bus for $385,000 this week. This is one I'm going to go ahead and say to avoid. It's a Pegasus vehicle. If I need to say any more than it's a Pegasus vehicle, it's just not that cool. I mean, if you want to LARP as like a prison guard or something, you may want to get it. But for most players, like literally 99% of people, you can completely avoid the Prison Bus. It's going to be kind of annoying to get it in the first place anyways, because it's a Pegasus vehicle, like I said, so you're going to have to call it. It's going to spawn at some inconvenient location. You have to go and get it and then drive it to wherever you need to go. Overall, it's just really not worth the hassle. If you did want a Prison Bus for something even, I would say just for 99% of people, just completely avoid this thing. Don't buy it this week. On Southern San Andreas Super Autos, we have the Vapid Uranus Law Speed going for just under $800,000 if you guys are interested in it. Now this thing's rear wheel drive. It has decent customization. It's based off of a Ford RS Cosworth, which is pretty cool. It's a great looking car, and especially customized, it actually looks fantastic, I would say. It's $800,000 though, and that is a price that is kind of just hard to wrap my head around, because you're not really getting $800K worth of performance or customization, in my opinion. Now, what I will say is if you wanted this car and if you've been waiting for it to go on discount, absolutely buy it now while it's on discount. I don't see it going cheaper than this ever. So if that entices you at all, you should probably pick it up this week. But For most players, you can avoid the Uranus Law Speed. It's just not that amazing of a vehicle, if I'm being completely honest. Now, it does have a missile lock-on jammer available for it, which is cool. It looks fantastic. Like I said, customization's great. But beyond that, it is just kind of a very average car. So if it doesn't appeal to you, completely avoid it this week. Totally fine. Scrolling a little further down, we have the Imponte Ruiner ZZ8, a Pontiac Trans Am based vehicle, or maybe even a Camaro, if I dare say that. $924,000. This thing has always kind of been a ripoff, unfortunately. It is a very, very, very slow muscle car for how much money you're paying, especially. Considering that like the regular price is $1,320,000, for $600,000 more you can get the Vigoro ZX that has HSW capabilities. It kind of makes this thing just seem like a complete scam. Now, 30% off is a little bit of a different story, but I still just don't think this vehicle has enough going for it to make it worth it. Now, I think it has a top speed of like 108 miles an hour, or maybe 116. Maybe it's 116. It's somewhere in that neighborhood though, and that is just pretty abysmal for how much money you're paying. So I would avoid the Imponte Ruiner ZZ8 for most people. The only way I recommend it is if you just love this car for whatever reason. Other than that though, completely avoid this thing. Further down, we have the Dinka Ballista Canjo, and this is one I'm actually going to recommend if you're interested in old Honda Civics like this, or JDM or tuner sort of cars, because this thing has some fantastic customization options available for it, which I will say are really awesome, and you can make this thing look sweet. Now, it's not the best handling car, it's not the best driving car ever. It is front wheel drive, which automatically makes it a lot worse. Overall, it's a decent car. It's not necessarily that fun to drive or anything like that, but for $406,000 without the trade price or $304,000 with the trade price, it is not a bad car, all things considered, especially customization-wise. For that reason, if you like something to customize, if you want something that's got a lot that you can do to it, this is a good car for you to pick up. If that doesn't sound appealing to you though, you can avoid it totally. Under the four-door section, we have the Dinka Chavos V6 for $994,000. I don't know in what world this thing is worth this much money, especially when the regular price is literally the exact same as the Ocelot Pariah, which is still in the top 10 fastest sports cars in GTA Online without HSW. Just a crazy amount of money for this vehicle. Like, even on discount, $994,000 I think is just an insane amount of money for basically a V6 Honda Accord. It's really not that special of a vehicle. It is rear wheel drive, I will give it that. Customization wise, there's some options for it. They're not great, but there are some options for it. For most people, I'm just going to go ahead and say avoid the Dinka Chavos V6. It really doesn't have many redeeming qualities. It does have drift tuning available for it and the missile lock-on jammer. But if that doesn't really sell it for you, then yeah, I don't really think anything else about it is going to sell it for you. So yeah, I would just avoid this one. Within the casino this week on the podium, we have the Ubermacht Cypher. Great car. Absolutely try to win this thing. It is fantastic. It has a new livery available this week as well by completing the Fleeca job, which is pretty cool too. So definitely recommend coming here and trying to win this. Real shocker here, we got the Karen Bohr back in the LS Car Meet, available to be won this week. It's top 5 for 4 days in a row. If you want a Karen Bohr, definitely go for that, but chances are you've probably won it by now, because I believe this is the 8th time in the last 3 years that this thing has been available in here, so that is pretty cool, I guess. With that being said, we also have some of the discounted vehicles available in the LS Car Meet. We have the Uranus Law Speed, the ZZ8, and the True Fate Adder. We already talked about all of them though, so I'm not gonna, drone on about it. We also have the Overflow Entity MT in here, which honestly, this week looks fantastic. Great job, whoever customized the prize ride. $3.5 million if you want this thing though, so you have to make the decision for yourself. The HSW test ride, it is pretty interesting though. Here at Simeon's, we have all the same vehicles that we talked about already that are discounted. The Z-Type here, we have the Classique Broadway right here. We have the Dinka Chavos V6 over here, the Imperial Cockhead D1, and the Dinka Ballista Canjo available as well. The priority file within the Garment Factory this week is going to be the Fine Art file, as you guys can see here. Within the salvage yard, we do have a claimable vehicle this week in the form of the Pfister Comet S2 Cabrio with the LS Pounders plate. You're going to get that by completing the Gangbanger robbery. The Matoni robbery will get you the Invitero Coquette D10, and the Podium robbery will get you the Vapid Dominator GTT. At luxury autos, we have the brand new Albany Marula and the brand new Ocelot E Stride also available here. The gun van location today is in Mirror Park. If you guys are playing the game the day that this video comes out, this is where the gun van will actually be. We have the tactical SMG in here, the railgun, the service carbine, the compact grenade launcher, combat pistol, and the machete as well. For throwables, we got grenades, sticky bombs, and pipe bombs, and body armor is of course 10% off in here as well. Your RC Bandito time trial is Construction Site 1, your Junk Energy time trial is Sewer System, your regular time trial is going to be Great Ocean Highway, and your HSW time trial is Textile City to Stab City, so it starts right here and it ends all the way up here in Sandy Shores at Stab City. So there you have it, guys. That's been it for what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. I really hope you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful. If you did, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care. Peace.